Part 11. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 102. He's just a ninja school student, yet he's so arrogant. Everyone in Konoha was angry at this girl's performance, so they ignored the reaction from the hidden cloud village. Even Troy and Levi, who were extremely arrogant before, obediently closed their mouths and looked at her with fearful eyes. The third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, noticed this. After frowning, Hiruzen Sarutobi thought, "Is this child? I dark come to challenge you." At this time, a person walked out of Konoha and took a step forward. It's Uchiha Fire Rock. No, it should be Black Wings. Last time, after being beaten by Hinata Hikaru, the character never appeared again. But for some reason, he actually ran out this time. Lee Ji turned around and glanced at Hinata Hikaru, and he decided to save face in front of everyone. "If you don't have enough for me to clean up, please give me a few more." The second Akumi flicked her braid, and her light yellow hair swayed behind her head. Insanity. Uchiha Kagen's right hand placed in front of his face began to crackle and flash. The next moment, he used Thunder Release and rushed towards the two Akumi. Uchiha Huoyan's movements caused a series of exclamations. His speed is very fast, even faster than when he was beaten by Hyuga before. In this world, Hinata is not the only one who has become stronger, everyone is working hard to practice. However, before Uchiha Huoyan could call out the name of Shuyuni's move, he saw. The two Akumi suddenly jumped up, as fast as a wild cat. With her body spinning in the air, she flew over the head of Uchiha Fire Rock, and then stretched out her sharp claws. Yes. Those slender and white fingers, I don't know when, have grown sharp nails, and they slashed towards the back. Nani? Uchiha Huoyan was startled, but he reacted extremely quickly and turned around suddenly, swinging towards his opponent. 1. Everyone in Konoha stared at the scene with wide eyes. There is no doubt that the opponent is very fast, but Uchiha Fire Rock's reaction is not slow either. More importantly, Uchiha Fire Rock uses Thunder Release. The opponent is just an ordinary taijutsu. In terms of attack power, Uchiha Fire Rock wins. The result of the collision between the two sides would only be that the girl from Union Village would be defeated. Humph. In mid-air, the corners of the two Akumi's mouths turned up. Not good. The ninja teacher's heart skipped a beat, and their faces showed completely different expressions from those of the cheering primary school students. The blue flame suddenly exploded. Two Akumi. Blue flames burned on both claws. Then, the two Akumi in the air suddenly kicked off and accelerated out of thin air, rushing towards the Uchiha Fire Rock like lightning. Everyone saw the two Akumi passing by the Uchiha Fire Rock, leaving horrific scratches on his body. The girl from Union Village who fell to the ground bounced up again without stopping. Several blue shadows flashed through the air, and finally, Uchiha Fire Rock fell to the ground. All this is just lightning. In an instant, the outcome was reversed. The two Akumi squatted on the ground like wild cats, retracting their long nails. Flowing clouds and water. Then, the two Akumi stood up and looked at everyone with a contemptuous sneer. The audience was silent. Everyone in Konoha looked at the scene with disbelief. Uchiha Fire Rock. He was actually killed instantly. After just one face-to-face encounter, he was defeated by the other party's weird taijutsu and ninjutsu. If I guess correctly, this child is a Jinchuriki. The third Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen, stared at the proud girl in front of him, a hint of shock flashed in his eyes. The child in front of me, who is only over 10 years old, is actually the Jinchuriki of the two-tailed Nikomata. The two-tailed Nikomata, also known as Mitata, is one of the nine-tailed beasts. The body is made of blue chakra fire and looks like a giant cat demon. That extremely special blue chakra flame is unmistakable. Human power. The ninja teachers looked shocked at the same time. The Konoha elementary school students beside them looked confused. Only a few children's expressions changed when they heard the word Jinchuriki. No wonder she is so strong. The so-called Jinchuriki is to seal the tailed beast into a suitable host using sealing techniques. From then on, this human body became the tailed beast's prison. In order to be able to use the power of the tailed beasts, the Yunnan village began to develop the power of the tailed beasts so that the Jinchuriki could use the power of the tailed beasts. But there is a huge disadvantage in doing this. Since the end of the Warring States period, Uzumaki Mito, the wife of the first Hokage, became a Jinchuriki. Other countries followed Konoha's example and stuffed tailed beasts into human bodies. However, it is different from the Uzumaki clan who possess powerful sealing techniques. The sealing techniques of other countries in the ninja world can only be described as such. The consequences of this are: once the Jinchuriki cannot restrain the tailed beast, it will also be due to special reasons. For example, a female Jinchuriki goes into labor. Or there is a gap in your heart. The tailed beast inside the body will go berserk. When the Jinchuriki goes berserk, the host's only fate is death. Once a Jinchuriki rampage occurs, it will cause a devastating blow to the surrounding people and villages. Death is bound to happen. There have been too many examples and tragedies of this kind in the past. This leads to most people's attitude towards Jinchuriki being disgusting and fearful. To put it bluntly, the Jinchuriki is a mobile nuclear bomb. I don't know when it will boo. This can be explained by the completely different attitudes of Troy, Levi, and others, and even those several Kyumigaku or village jounin, when facing the two Akumi. Think of this. The hearts of Sarutobi Hiruzen and others sank directly to the bottom of the lake. If the other party is an ordinary child, even if it is within the limits of blood inheritance, Konoha's side has a chance of winning. But if it were a Jinchuriki, even a Chuyunin would not necessarily dare to claim a guaranteed win. The lower limit of Jinchuriki is extremely low, and even if you have your neck wiped, you will die. But the upper limit is extremely high, so high that even Sarutobi Hiruzen may find it difficult. How much strength to use is purely a metaphysical question. If these two nuclear bombs, Akumi, went on a rampage, it would probably be a huge headache. That is, Konoha may be embarrassed in this diplomatic transaction. Jinchuriki is definitely not something ordinary people can resist. Teacher, what is a Jinchuriki? In the crowd, students asked their class teachers one after another. The ninja teachers looked embarrassed and didn't know how to answer. In Konoha, although the word Jinchuriki is not taboo, everyone silently refuses it. Only a very few people know that Konoha actually holds the Kyuubi. Hiruzen Sarutobi, Koharu, Mito Kaden, and Danzo Shimura. The four top brass, plus a small group of Umbu and Tsunade. That's all the people in the know. Even Jiraiya and others don't know the secret of Kyuubi. The current Nine-Tails Jinchuriki is the elderly Uzumaki Mito, the wife of the first Hokage Senju Hashirama. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 104. Sarutobi Ryo's smile was like a poster in the Konoha theater. His desire to die is just around the corner. Sarutobi didn't hold back after provoking Hinata Hikari for the first time. Now is the second time. No one can stop him from seeking death. When everyone came back from Sarutobi Ryo's smile, they found that he was staring directly at Hinata Hikaru. See you soon, Sarutobi Ryo chuckled. Remember the ninjutsu I taught you step by step before? Use this ninjutsu to deal with them. Sarutobi Ryo stretched out his hand and pointed towards the cloud-hidden village. But he still looked at Hinata Hikari with a smile. It seems that it is not enough. Sarutobi Ryo added, Hikaru. This sentence directly caused the scene to explode. Ah, what a handsome Konoha long-legged appa. Ah, what a gentle voice. Ah, what an affectionate look. But it was for Hikari. Their male god, Sarutobi Ryo, actually. Hand in hand. Teach ninjutsu. Xiaoguang. At this moment, the eyes of everyone looking at Hinata suddenly changed and were full of evil. Oh oh oh. However, Hinata trembled. Sarutobi Ryo, you are so disgusting. This leader doesn't know you. You can move as far as you want. Ri Xiangguang waved his little hand as if to drive him away. Next to him, Minato Namikaze. The magical Minato Namikaze saw the scene and whispered a few words in Hinata Xiao's ear. After hearing this, Ri Xiangxiao's expression changed and he was hesitant. After that, he took a deep breath and had a hard look on his face. Today he and Ri Xiangxiao are going to defy the sky and the earth. Just then, Hinata Xiao strode towards Sarutobi Ryo, who was injured because of being rejected by Hinata Hikari. He patted Sarutobi Ryo's shoulder hard and said to the very sad Sarutobi Ryo, "Don't be sad, don't you still have me?" Hinata Xiao looked at each other silently with Sarutobi Ryo. Everyone. The silent place was filled with a strange atmosphere. Even the third Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen, looked at his stupid son with dumbfounded eyes. Hinata Xiao's words were swirling in Sarutobi Hiruzen's mind. The third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen felt a little ashamed of himself for the ancestors of the Sarutobi clan. Maybe it's time to have another baby. This time, we must educate our children well. How about calling her Sarutobi Asuma? Let's not talk about Sarutobi Asuma's Higa 1 and Sarutobi Hiruzen's fuzzy journey. I don't have it. Don't get me wrong. Sarutobi Ryo was waiting to explain, but the two Akumi suddenly looked at Hinata Hikari. Xiaoguang, you are Hinata Hikaru. Ugh. Hinata suddenly sighed. It seems that this leader can't even keep a low profile. Hinata Hikaru took a step forward, now that Sarutobi Ryo had revealed his identity. Then it would be boring to continue to keep a low profile. Don't be ridiculous if you get first place at such a young age. The second Akumi laughed with a smile on her face. She really wanted to laugh and felt very happy. The Hyuga girl in front of me looks very young, only 8 years old. She is actually the number 1 in Konoha ninja school like this. And what's going on? You look like you're mentally disturbed. Two Akumi sarcastically said. Could it be that a little mentally ill person is more powerful than all normal people? The two Akumi spread their hands and looked around Konoha. Are there no people in Konoha? Everyone on the Konoha side was swept away by her gaze and avoided it. Or look up at the sky, or look at the soles of his feet, but he just doesn't look at her. Many people present were dissatisfied with Hinata. But there is no way, Lord Hokage declares her to be the number 1, then she is the number 1. Not everyone has the guts to be like Ping Toxiao, who defies heaven and earth to demand justice. Therefore, they could only avoid the eyes of the two Akumi. Quack. I heard Hinata laugh strangely. Not only was he not angry, but he looked at the two Akumi with very pitiful eyes. Why are you suffering as a leader? You are miserable enough yourself, and you still want to ridicule others. What do you mean? The expressions of the two Akumi changed and they stopped smiling. Look at them. Hinata Hikaru stretched out her finger and pointed behind the two Akumi, her companions from Kumigakura village. It is not difficult to tell from the fear and hatred in their eyes when they look at you that your life is not easy. Hikaru Hinata revealed the truth with one word. As long as people know their identity, no Jinchuriki can live a good life. The reason why Hiruzen Sarutobi did not announce to others the identity of the Uzumaki Mito Jinchuriki was because of his difficulties. Every Jinchuriki, even Gaara in the original work, the son of the Kaze Kage, is spurned and hated by the villagers. The villagers of Konoha were kept in the dark, but they were peaceful. And Uzumaki Mito can also spend his old age peacefully. This is something that only happens in Konoha. The Jinchuriki of other ninja villages are well known to everyone in the village. From childhood to adulthood, These Jinchuriki have endured countless pains and censures. It is normal for these pains to accumulate and become blackened. Look at this leader again. Hinata pointed behind her. The master of the sect loves others and makes flowers bloom. He is completely different from you. The sunlight is so beautiful that it bubbles up. Everyone loves you. Bah, when the flowers bloom. Behind him, a group of people were spitting, complaining, and disdainful. But, except for a few Uchiha, no one really hates Hinata Hikari. At most, there is a sense of superiority between normal people and mental patients. This gap. The two Akumi can see it. To shut up. The two Akumi shouted suddenly, and his whole body went crazy. That pretty face became even more distorted. What do you know and what qualifications do you have to speak to me? His usual carelessness could not hide the real pain in his heart. The two Akumi gradually lost control of their emotions. Two Akumi. Until, another loud shout sounded. He was the leader of the Kyomagakure mission, the Jounin of Kyomagakure who was talking to Hiruzen Sarutobi. No, it should be said to be an elite Jounin. Judging from the momentum he just exuded. After hearing this violent yell, the two Akumi were stunned for a moment. Then, he returned to his original smiling expression. Haha, don't yell at me. I know that I will become the first perfect Jinchuriki in the history of Kyomagakure village and I will never run away because of others' ridicule. The two Akumi waved his right hand and shouted sharply. Although I feel a little arrogant. Well, for now, Yagura is still a little kid, and the Three Tails can't even dream about it. Eight-tailed Kiribi hasn't been born yet. In the ninja world, the perfect Jinchuriki is just an idea. Currently, no one has become a perfect Jinchuriki. But this ability to suppress negative emotions made the four Konoha executives worried. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 105. Hikaru Hinata, do you dare to accept my challenge? The two Akumi raised their hands and said loudly. Why don't you dare? Hinata Hikaru gave a weird laugh, and was extremely proud. Then let's begin. The two Akumi's pretty faces showed expressions of excitement and anticipation. She wanted to see the strength of the strongest ninja student in Konoha. Hey, don't worry. Hinata Hikari stretched out her little hand, taking her time. You can challenge this leader, is there any benefit? After hearing his words, everyone was stunned on the spot. Hinata's old habit has happened again. Want benefits? Benefit? The two Akumi were dumbfounded. Ever since she was a child, she had fought countless times and challenged many people, but no one had ever asked her for any favors. Hinata rolled her eyes. There is no good reason why this leader would accept your challenge of 10 tails, or valuable ninjutsu, taijutsu, and illusions. Hinata Hikaru opened his mouth and the people in Union village didn't know whether they were frightened or shocked. Everyone was stunned on the spot. They couldn't believe what they had just heard. Is this girl from the Hyuga clan so arrogant? Even the host is not like this. On the Konoha side, everyone felt extremely embarrassed because of Hinata Hikari's very involved behavior. They feel Konoha's face will be completely embarrassed by Hinata Hikaru. Even the senior executives such as Koharu and Mito Minoyan could no longer listen. There is no other way, Hinata Hikari's behavior is no different from stealing. Konoha is a land of etiquette. Moreover, although she has a peculiar fluctuation of blood-bound killing intent. But her opponent is a Jinchuriki, isn't she afraid that the opponent will beat her up? If I say no. The two Akumi still kept smiling, but there was a hint of sullenness in their smiles. There's something wrong with this Hinata Hikari's head. Since you refused, there's nothing you can do. Hinata shook his head regretfully. Oh, what are you going to do? The two Akumi were frank and open-minded, with expressions on their faces that said, "What can you do to me?" Of course Hinata wouldn't do anything to her, so she turned around. He ran all the way behind Sarutobi Ryo. Then, Hinata Hikaru showed an attitude of eating melons and watching the show, pretending to be powerful. Quack, Liangze, beat her up. Everyone. At this moment, everyone's jaws dropped to the ground. 10,000 little-tailed beasts ran through their hearts. Okay, this is very shameless and very Hayagahakari. Sarutobi Ryo was surrounded by Hinata Hikaru, and he stumbled forward unconsciously. He ran 2 meters in this run. Vigorously miracle. Wasn't the force Hinata used just now a bit too strong? Sarutobi Ryo looked at himself, who suddenly arrived at the scene and was speechless. He didn't expect that Hinata Hikaru would come back with a revenge. Ugh. Sure enough, you can't mess with Hinata Hikari. Fortunately, Sarutobi Ryo was careful to maintain his image in front of everyone. He smiled softly, opened his stance towards the two Akumi, and said bravely, "Please." Although he smiles on his face, he is crying in his heart. As soon as Sarutobi Ryo appeared, the opponent's face became a little more solemn. How strong will the son of Naruto be? Looking at his calm expression, you can tell that Sarutobi Ryo is confident about himself. Because he could still be so calm despite seeing several people being beaten violently with his own eyes, which shows that Sarutobi Ryo's strength is superior to the previous ones. Maybe it's not on the same level at all. Because of Hinata Hikaru's behavior, Koharu and others also felt very embarrassed. But luckily Sarutobi Ryo is the kid who can take the lead. That's all, let's let Sarutobi fight. The elite Jonin from Hidden Cloud Village thought for a moment and immediately nodded to a child next to him. After receiving the order, the young man from Union Village strode forward and stopped beside the two Akumi. "Miss Akumi, just leave this to me." With that said, he faced Sarutobi Ryo. Although the two Akumi were unhappy, they still retreated. This move is undoubtedly to abandon the pawn to save the chariot. Let one person go up first to test, in case the two Akumi suffers from the loss of information and causes the boat to capsize in the gutter. It's just how much strength this guy can bring out from Ryo Sarutobi. Everyone looked at the scene with serious expressions. "I'm Zoe, I'm good at lightning escape." The young man from Union Village smiled honestly. It is a very common tradition in Kumoyan Village to have Yi with your name. And the word Zo is like Zo, 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 Zo. It is also a very common word. Please. Sarutobi nodded and stared at the dark-skinned and muscular opponent in front of him. The other party reported his home address not because he was honest. But it is very likely that he only knows Thunder Escape, and the only thing he is good at is Thunder Escape. Of course, this could also be misleading. Later, the chakras surging in Zoe's body confirmed his deduction. Thunderstorm. Zoe suddenly formed seals. A terrifying chakra coursed through his body. Just looking at the momentum, it is even stronger than Uchiha Fire Rock. Not only does the thunder release ninjutsu spread quickly, but it is also activated very quickly. Many thunder escape ninjutsus, even those that are very powerful S-level thunder escapes, only require a few seals. The fewer the seals, the faster the activation. Walk on the ground. In less than a second, Zoe completed the seal, and with a sudden slap on the ground, crackling lightning rushed along the ground towards Sarutobi Ryo. It's actually a sea-level ninjutsu. There were exclamations from the crowd. Those ninja teachers recognized this jutsu. The difficulty level of Thunder Escape is level C. Although it is sea level, it is an entry-level ninjutsu for Thunder Release. Almost every ninja who uses Thunder Release knows this move. But a ninja school student can use it, which shows that his qualifications are basically comparable to those of the children of the Uchiha clan. Thunder Escapes and Walks. However, Sarutobi Ryo, under everyone's surprised eyes, formed the same seal as his opponent. Everyone in Kumagakure village was shocked. They didn't expect that Sarutobi Ryo would counter-attack with the same ninjutsu. Roaring lightning came from the hands of the two men, passing through the ground and running towards their opponents. There was a sizzling sound, and then the crackling sound of the arc. The sound and light effects produced by the collision of the two people's ninjutsu lasted for a few seconds, and then dissipated into nothingness. This round of ninjutsu battle ended with simultaneous elimination. It's not over. Zoe gritted her teeth and formed the seal again. Thunder release lightning pillar. After a simple seal, Zoe's back suddenly lit up, as if thousands of suns were rising behind her. This is a ninjutsu that uses a strong flash of light to interfere with the opponent's vision and take the opportunity to defeat the enemy. Because the light shines behind you, it will not be affected. Thunder release lightning pillar. However, in the bright light, Sarutobi's voice rang out. Behind him, shining like thousands of sunshine. The flash bombs the two threw at each other blinded everyone's eyes. Ah, my eyes. What is this? Those onlookers who looked confused and couldn't avoid it were dazzled by 214N light bulbs. After the flash, the expression on Zoe's face was extremely ugly. Sarutobi Ryo, on the other hand, looked calm. The expression on his face seemed to say he was sorry. He could really do whatever he wanted if he was proficient in the 5 attribute escape technique. At this point, the low-end copy of Ninja Sarutobi Go-Go is released. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 106. Sarutobi Ryo and his opponent released exactly the same ninjutsu. Did he copy his opponent's ninjutsu? There was a burst of exclamation from the crowd. Everyone who had recovered their eyesight looked surprised. Certainly. Sarutobi Ryo smiled. The difficulty of these ninjutsu is not too high, so I tried to figure it out temporarily, and luckily I succeeded. Sarutobi Ryo spoke extremely lightly, but the listener felt like vomiting blood. Konoha's side is fine. They all praised Sarutobi Ryo for being such a genius and that he was worthy of being the son of Hokage-sama. On the contrary, the faces of everyone in Union Village were extremely ugly. The ninjutsu of my own village was actually seen through and learned by the other party in just a few strokes. It's worth it. They are here to cause trouble, not to contribute ninjutsu to each other. So, the Union Village ninja winked at Zoe and said, "We lost this round." Hearing that he had voluntarily admitted defeat and recalled Zoe, Konoha's morale was greatly boosted. The elementary school students all cheered and applauded, especially the girls, who were astonished by Ace's handsome long-legged Konoha Appa Sarutobi. Sarutobi Ryo, he fought for Konoha to regain his face. Even Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't help but smile. Levi. Yes. Levi, who has fair skin and holds a Yunryu sword, appears again. Levi is good at swordsmanship, and combined with simple ninjutsu, he can form a very practical combat system. It couldn't be more suitable for him to deal with Sarutobi Ryo, who has full ninjutsu skills. The two ninjutsu just now are sea level. My chakra consumption is a bit high. I'm afraid I won't be able to fight continuously. Sarutobi smiled, glanced at his opponent, then turned around and exited the barrier. The facial muscles of the ninja from Hidden Cloud Village twitched. He didn't expect that Sarutobi Ryo would find a reason to run away. Levi was in a daze, watching his opponent disappear. His heart must be very complicated. Back in the crowd, Sarutobi Ryo saw Hinata laughing at him. Gah, Ryo, Sarutobi doesn't know how to copy ninjutsu, and he doesn't have the true eye of the evil king. Hinata Rika gestured with the movements of the evil king's true eye and spoke to the people around her, obviously exposing Sarutobi Ryo's background. Hikari Hinata, don't talk nonsense about my long-legged Appa. Sarutobi Ryo, clearly using the same ninjutsu as his opponent. A girl complained for Sarutobi Ryo. That's it? Everyone nodded. Hinata simply rolled his eyes. That's what he lied to you. Sarutobi Ryo already knows those two ninjutsus. He told my leader when I visited his house. Hi 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 hi. Sarutobi Ryo ran over quickly to stop Hinata Hikari from continuing to talk nonsense. After leading Hikari aside, Sarutobi turned his back to everyone and whispered, Hikari, give me some face. Give my village chief's son some face and stop talking nonsense, okay? Gaga, it's not impossible to give face. Hinata put her little hands behind her back and started pacing. You can just contribute the sun fist to this leader. Escape the lightning beam. No problem. Okay, okay, I'll give it, Sarutobi Ryo nodded repeatedly. He paid a heavy price for his suicide attempt. Daylight representation. Once I have a handle on you, your ninjutsu will belong to this leader. What's yours belongs to this leader, and what belongs to this leader still belongs to this leader. Sarutobi Ryo finally remembered the horror of being dominated by the oldest fat tiger, Hinata Hikaru. Ninjutsu is like running water in your hand, it always slips away inadvertently. The melancholy Sarutobi Ryo raised his head and squinted at a 45-degree angle, and spoke very philosophical words. Hikaru Hinata, I want to challenge you. Levi, who had no opponent, felt fierce in his heart and directly challenged Hinata Hikari by name. Hinata Hikaru is busy, she is asking Sarutobi Ryo to contribute ninjutsu to her on the spot. You deserve it too. Xiangxiao took a step forward and shouted loudly. The momentum in him suddenly burst out, far surpassing that of Uchiha Huoyan and others. This is also the first time that Xiangxiao shows all his strength in front of everyone. The chakra coming out of the body turned into a cyclone and swept across the ground. With the long flowing hair, he is really handsome and handsome. Levi's expression was solemn, and he even pulled out the Yunliu sword from behind and looked at Xiangxiao as if facing a formidable enemy. There is no doubt that this opponent cannot be underestimated. My name is Xiangxiao, and I will be your opponent. Xiangxiao closed her eyes tightly and stepped forward. A member of the Hyuga clan has his eyes closed. What does this mean? This means that he looks down on himself at all, meaning that even a pair of supercilious eyes will win. How arrogant this is. Many thoughts flashed through the minds of everyone in Union Village, including Levi. Drink. Zoe shouted, raised her sword and charged forward. Slash before cloud flow. Once it comes up, it is the simplest and most direct, but extremely powerful slash. Whether it is speed or power, it is completely different from when he defeated Uchiha Handfire before. In an instant, the sword edge passed by. This sharp blow seemed to split Xiangxiao into two pieces. Although the Yunliu forward slash is only a D-level swordsmanship, after practicing it thousands of times, it can become a killer. After all, people bleed and die if they are hit in a critical area. Good move. However, Hinata Xiao nodded slightly, seemingly confirming the opponent's attack. But it's not enough after all. Xiangxiao moved while shaking his head. Gossip. Hinata Xiao opened his stance and slapped the opponent who rushed in front of him. Empty palm. An ultimate muffled sound. The transparent airflow flying out from Xiangxiao's palm hit the opponent like an air cannon. Although they were 2 meters apart, they were hit with an air strike like a flying prop. Wow! Levi screamed, and his whole body was directly pushed by the violent force and flew backwards. Finally, he fell to the ground heavily. There was silence for a moment. No one could have expected that Xiangxiao would immediately kill Levi with a powerful palm technique. Ba Guakong palm is a palm technique that can only be used by the Hyuga clan. It is a blood inheritance limited body technique. By compressing the chakra in the body, it pushes the air to form air blocks and attack the opponent. This move has multiple uses and different variations. Hinata Xiao did not add a higher level of soft fist chakra to the air. Therefore, this move only hurt Levi's body surface. If not, Levi would be in danger. It is worth mentioning that among the taijutsu of the Hyuga clan, Bagua Kongjang has the fastest attack speed. It can be said that it is an irresistible move. Which one is faster? Is your teleportation technique, or is it my Bagua air palm that is faster? Hinata Xiao looked down at Levi, who had just gotten up. The other party's face was very ugly. Unexpectedly, I actually saw the Zone family's unique skill, Bagua Kong Palm. It's lucky, but also unfortunate. The scene of being knocked to the ground was very embarrassing and undoubtedly humiliating. Go away, you are no match for me. Ri Xiang Xiao put away her right palm and said loudly. Arrogant and domineering. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 107. Previously, the other party was extremely arrogant and even injured Uchiha Shuhuo with his sword. Naturally, Hinata Xiao would not look down upon him. Although Uchiha Handhuo is a member of the Uchiha clan, he has no grudge against him. Naturally, the distinction between public and private matters is very clear. In the current situation of foreign enemies, of course, we should choose to share the same hatred with the enemy. Cloud flow. Levi regained his footing, shouted loudly, and raised his sword to form a seal. Chakra suddenly exploded. In an instant, Levi's figure blurred and disappeared from the scene. This is an Intai technique that uses the instantaneous technique to explode, quickly approaching the opponent, and then knocking the opponent down. This was how Uchiha Handfire was defeated before. However, to Hinata Xiao, who has the ability to perceive and Byakugan, this is as obvious as a light bulb in the night sky. Empty 8 diagrams. There is no visual impact. Ri Xiang Xiao slapped his palm behind him. Levi, who suddenly appeared behind Ri Xiang Xiao, was photographed, vomiting blood, and flew out. This time, Levi failed to get up. Apparently, Ri Xiang Xiao added soft fist chakra to Bagua Kongjang. The dense chakra chunks shot out, penetrated into the body, causing internal trauma to Levi's body. I've already warned you that you are no match for me. These words were meant for everyone in Union Village. Because Levi had closed his eyes and passed out, Hinata Hikaru told them to come in vertically and go out horizontally. Ri Xiang Xiao successfully achieved the achievement. For a moment, the whole place was silent. After a while, someone came forward and hurriedly lifted Levi down. Looking at the handsome Ri Xiang Xiao standing tall in the field, the people in the audience couldn't help but murmur. It's so domineering. So awesome. Hinata Xiao defeated not only a ninja student, but also the swordsmanship of Union Village. His Bagua Kong Palm completely destroyed Yunliu's swordsmanship system. Although this was only a ninja-level competition, it was enough to make Union Village lose face. The child Hinata Xiao hopes that I can be his mentoring jonin. It will be me when the time comes. Because of the commotion and the increase in insiders. Here, more figures gradually appeared. Some jounin, or elite jounin, appeared here, watching this friendly exchange of Konoha Kumagakuer. They all expressed their hope that they could take Ri Xiang Xiao under their command by then. Guiding jonin is not simply a matter of superiors and subordinates. Still teachers and students. It represents the inheritance and profound bond of the will of fire. He. At some point, even Orochimaru came. Naturally, Jiraiya and Tsunade were not absent either. Looking at their colleagues who came out one after another, the three of them smiled with interest. Although there are certain variables in recruiting disciples, the final result will be limited to a small group of people. Only this small group of people are qualified to become Ri Xiang Xiao's mentoring jonin. The same. So does Hinata. Laugh, what are you laughing at? Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned, looked behind him, and whispered a question to Orochimaru and the others. Suddenly, The smiles of the three people froze on their faces. Disciples of the Hokage, three household names, outstanding talents who have accomplished countless impossible tasks. It was these three people who took on the task of recruiting Hikaru Hinata as a disciple as ordered by Sarutobi Hiruzen. Failed. During these days, Jiraiya and the three tried their best, but they couldn't convince Hinata Hikaru. What a shame. Ugh. Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed softly and looked at his three incompetent disciples. He couldn't even convince a child. If there is really no other way, then I have no choice but to accept Hikaru Hinata as my disciple. That won't do. Jiraiya shook his head vigorously on the spot, saying no. Hinata Hikaru is already very arrogant and capable of causing trouble. If she has such an identity, she will not be able to go to heaven. Sarutobi-sensei, I hope you will consider it carefully. Orochimaru Balabala, Xiao Zai, gave full play to the caution and rigor that a scientist should have. Seems pretty good. Only Tsunade, after thinking about it for a while, felt that this proposal was a good one. Because then, Hinata Hikaru will not call her Tsunade-sensei, but Tsunade-senpai, Tsunade-sister. Isn't it beautiful? Jiraiya's face darkened. If that really happens, what will his disciple Minato do then? From now on, when you see Hikaru Hinata, you should call him Mr. Hikaru Hinata. If you can't do it, I have no choice but to do that. Sarutobi Hiruzen snorted and said half threateningly, half intimidatingly. Then, he continued to look at the field. Ri Xiangxiao has already made several rounds of harsh words. Who else? Just now, Ri Xiangxiao killed another person. Really domineering and arrogant. Looking at their companions being carried down, everyone in Union Village gritted their teeth. The two Akumi wanted to come forward, but were held down by the ninja leader, the elite Jounin. The ninja leader is an elite monster unique to Union Village. In the original work, the Kumo ninja who kidnapped Hinata was killed by Hinata Hisashi and was the ninja leader. The ninja leaders are all elite Jounin, who are responsible for commanding the Jounin. His function is similar to that of Konoha's Jounin squad leader. However, there are more Jounin in Kumagakure village, so there are many ninja leaders. Don't let anyone else come on first. Being prudent, he still chose to let the two Akumi retain their strength. Because he subconsciously felt that the Hyuga light was the strongest. Because both Sarutobi Ryo and Hinata Xiao seemed to have a vague obedience to her. Sometimes, some information, even if you don't deliberately inquire about it, you will know automatically. When he came to Konoha in the morning, the ninja leader of Cloud Hidden Village heard various conversations coming from the street. The gossip news contains stories about Hinata Hikaru. These fragments are put together to form a complete whole. The first place in the Konoha level exam, the girl who was separated from the family, and the slightly mentally ill Hinata Hikaru. Is this possible? The strongest ninja student in Konoha is actually a little mentally ill. Minato Namikaze, aren't you going to play? Hinata Hikaru looked at Minato Namikaze, who was standing quietly aside. Namikaze Minato smiled, his blue eyes as gentle as ever. I think I should leave all opportunities for such big-scale performances to Hinata Hikari-san. Quack, okay. Hinata nodded and smiled. Then, he walked towards Ri Xiangxiao. Namikaze Minato stared at Hinata Hikaru's back, his eyes twinkling. Hinata Hikari-san is destined to be the center of attention. Gold will always shine, and this is the case for Hinata Hikari-san. To use a sentence from Hinata Hikari-san, that is. I can't keep a low profile even if I want to. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 108. Ri Siang Guan walked forward with his little hands on his back. What's the matter? Here comes my leader. It is good. Hinata Xiao nodded and turned around. The moment the two passed each other, Ri Xiao didn't hesitate at all. Everyone couldn't help being silent. Why can Hinata light move Hinata Xiao? Just now, everyone saw Ri Xiao's arrogant performance. Ping Tok Xiao's name has been deeply rooted in people's hearts. If others can't persuade Ri Xiao, Ri Guan can solve it with just one sentence. Could it be that the conflict between the Hyuga clan and the branch clan is rumored to be false? The Hyuga clan has truly achieved great unity. Hinata Hikaru walked step by step and finally stood in the field, surrounded by everyone's sight. Namikaze Minato looked at Hinata Hikaru's back, a gentle smile on his handsome face. Today, Hinata Hikaru's name will not only resound throughout Konoha, but will also be brought back to Kyomagakure with him and known to everyone in Kyomagakure. Hinata is destined to be extraordinary. She is destined to shine brightly. What is going to happen today will make those who looked down on her in the past feel ashamed. Gaga, my leader's name is Hikaru Hinata. I come from the Hidden Leaf Village. I am a student in Class 1, Grade 2, Ninja School. I always have a high status. Hinata Hikaru chuckled strangely and said his name. Hikari Hinata is a bucket of paste for eternity. Under the stage, the Konoha side let out scattered shouts. I don't know if those students were deliberately booing, or if they were shouting sincerely. Well. Hinata Hikaru waved to the audience, as if to say, Kong, this leader is very dignified. Puff. From the side of Union Village, there was laughter. They had just been whispering to each other, exchanging information, and already knew something about Hinata Hikaru. I didn't expect that in Konoha, even mental patients can enter the ninja school. It seems that although there is no shortage of geniuses in your village, it is also in a situation where no one is available. This kind of ridicule caused the people in Union Village to burst into laughter. As if this could cover up the failure of being beaten violently by Ri Xiao just now. This competition is full of smoke. Not only were the two sides openly fighting, but there were also verbal exchanges. That is to say, talk. Ga, ugly girl, it seems you want to practice with my coach. Faced with the other party's sarcasm, Hinata didn't get angry. That cute little face is still smiling. She stretched out her hand and pointed at the girl from Union Village who had just laughed at her. As soon as these two words came out, the other person's smiling face immediately froze. Then, it turned into an angry look. Hinata Hikaru seemed not to notice and continued, Gaga, it's getting uglier now. This world, even the world of ninjas, cannot change some of its essence. That is the pursuit of beauty. Compared to ordinary people, female ninjas usually give people a slovenly appearance. But that's just an illusion. If possible, who would want to fight and kill all day long? I'll challenge you. The girl whom Hinata Hikari called ugly jumped out. My name is. Hey. Hinata Hikaru waved his little hand and interrupted the other party's speech. You don't need to tell me your name, because you have to go back soon. After being stunned for a moment, the other party understood the meaning. This little psycho is saying that she can defeat herself very quickly, so she doesn't even need to know her name. Arrogance. The other party's dark cheeks changed, and he charged toward Hinata Hikaru with great force. In the blink of an eye, he rushed in front of Hinata Hikaru. In her opinion, that nervous smiling face is so hateful. And this little psycho's skin is so fair and his eyes are so crystal clear and beautiful. The smooth and shiny black hair is even more enviable. Any of the advantages that can attract attention are all gathered in one person. The jealous girl from Union Village suddenly became jealous. She held the kunao in her hand and slashed towards Hinata Hikaru's cheek. At this moment, it is dangerous and extremely vicious at the same time. But The next moment, Hinata Hikaru's figure flashed and he rose into the air, like a floating whirlwind. The whirlwind of Konoha. Then, a muffled sound was heard. A black shadow flew back faster than when it came. With one move, Hikaru Hinata instantly killed his opponent. The whole place was silent. Even his thinking stopped for a moment. At this time, the Konoha fell to the ground and let out a clear and bright groan. Astonishingly, it was the one the other party held just now. Next. With a smile on his face, Hinata Hikaru stretched out his hand and made a gesture toward the team in Hidden Cloud Village. Not a trace of anger. Not even looking at the opponent who was knocked away. This posture makes it seem as if the opponent you just faced is not an opponent who needs respect, but a bastard. Since it is a miscellaneous fish, there is no need for the protagonist to have any emotional fluctuations, or even to pay attention. Just like a passing backdrop, passing by means passing by. I come. Before the Kyomagakure girl who had been kicked unconscious could be carried down, another person walked out of the opponent's team. My name is. Quack, it's too weak, don't worry. Hinata Guang waved his little hand, not intending to know at all. The same behavior annoys the other person. Receive. Facing Hinata Hikari, he rushed over, obviously wanting to take advantage of his size. Konoha. Hinata put on a stance and was about to turn around. Humph. The other party snorted coldly, raised his arms, and covered his chest in front of his body. He seemed to be completely unafraid of Hinata Hikaru's physical skills. He just rushed towards Hinata Hikaru. Quack, there's a broken butt. Hinata's eyes changed, and his eyes were bright. Konoha Gale. A sweep, hitting the opponent's bottom plate directly. The eternal theme of ninja battles is to conquer the east and attack the west. Hinata Hikari had no intention of using Konoha's cyclone. Wow! The other party screamed in embarrassment and flew into the air. Prelude to Konoha power. Hinata stepped on her right foot, jumped up in the air, and saw her bandaged calf suddenly kicking her opponent's face in the air. Aha! With one blow, the opponent who made an unknown sound was kicked away. The opponent who was kicked in the head fell heavily to the ground. Heavier weight means harder falls. I was hit in the head and I'm afraid I won't be able to get up for a while. Still an instant kill. At this moment, the scene was silent. Even the atmosphere suddenly became weird. The two battles caused everyone to have thoughts named. It doesn't look like Hinata is fighting, more like playing. Not only could the extremely powerful ninja student from Kyomagakure village not survive a single round under her, he even looked so relaxed. What the hell? Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 109. This little psycho. Unexpected. Everyone in Union Village widened their eyes and looked at the scene in front of them in disbelief. Konoha's side was even more shocked. Is it that Hinata's light is too strong, or that the other party is too weak? Of course, this leader is too strong. Please don't send some nameless bastards here in the future. Hinata Hikaru waved his little hand, but the other party almost spit out blood. What does you send some trash fish with no name or surname mean? It was obvious that she didn't even listen to others finish their names. Troy, the ninja leader of Union Village, shouted. Yes. A tall, dark-skinned boy with a strong build, Troy walked out of the crowd and entered the field. I will be your opponent. Previously, Troy, who easily defeated Senjuang and Konoha's fluid technique, became Hinata's opponent. Troy is only 12 years old, but his height is similar to that of a 15 or 6-year-old boy. He almost looked down at Hinata and said this. The size difference between the two is really impossible to ignore. This. Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned. Even Shimura Danzo, who had been squinting his eyes, opened his left eye that exuded a cold light. Jiraiya, Orochimaru, and Tsunade also looked at Hinata Hikari with serious expressions. The opponents Hinata Hikaru defeated before were very strong, but it was obvious that Troy from Hidden Cloud Village was stronger. So, who will be the winner? For a moment, everyone held their breath and stared at the two opposite men without blinking. How will Hyuga deal with Troy? What if you are proud of your physical skills and encounter an opponent with an exaggerated size? You have good physical skills, but it's a pity that you met me. Troy crossed his arms over his chest, extremely confident. The dark muscles glistened in the sun, and it looked like they had been overloaded with exercise. Looking at Hinata's little arms and legs, Troy just wanted to laugh. Although his opponent is a girl, he has no sympathy for her. Muscles, 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 that's what the ninjas of Kyomagakure are all about. Training to be as strong as the Raikage-sama is his brother Troy's ultimate goal. Of course, in his spare time, Troy also did not forget to supplement his knowledge and study philosophy. I also have a hobby, which is wrestling with others, and competing against each other while having fun. Kyoir. This was Hinata's answer. She felt that the atmosphere was suddenly philosophical. What? One click to connect, one click to connect, Cell Xiao. Every time the nervous Hinata said a word, the pity in everyone's eyes became even greater. These confusing words made everyone in Union Village burst into laughter. Psychosis is just a sign of mental illness. After shouting loudly, Troy, with a fierce look in his eyes, actually rushed towards Hinata. Hinata Hikaru was immersed in philosophical thinking and did not move for a while. Everyone in the audience watched the scene and couldn't help but exclaimed. The Hyuga clan's soft fist, as the name suggests, requires close proximity to exert its true power. Although there is a unique skill such as Bagua air palm, it is a secret of the clan that is not passed down. No one thought that Hinata Hikaru knew how to do this. So the showdown between her and Troy was almost a close quarters exchange of blows. In the end, see who is faster, stronger, and has more chakra. To put it simply, it is the ultimate showdown of physical skills. But it's clear that from a visual perspective, Troy has the upper hand. Looking at it with my eyes, it seems that the wind blowing just by running over can blow away the sunlight. Not only the ordinary ninjas, but also the 4 senior officials of Konoha and the 3 Jiraiya were watching the scene without blinking. Originally, in terms of physical skills, even this title was like a firefly's light in front of the Hyuga clan. Faced with a soft fist that can seal meridians and destroy internal organs, getting close is basically a loss. But Troy's size is too exaggerated. The length of his arms and legs must exceed that of Hinata. In other words, whether Hyuga can get Troy is still a question. Some people even imagined such a scene directly. Hinata kept baring his teeth and claws, but Troy pushed Hinata's little head with one finger. Funny. However, this scene is just a fantasy after all. Everyone underestimates Hinata Hikari-san, Minato Namikaze murmured after looking around. They're just a bunch of ignorant people. R.I. Xiangxiao snorted coldly, with extreme disdain. So, the next moment. Water escape. Hyuga Hikaru began to form seals. Iron gun jade. Under the dull gazes of everyone, Hinata flew his hands up and down, formed seals, and then suddenly spit out a water ball. All of a sudden, those who were looking forward to the physical martial arts showdown were shocked. What's going on with the Taijutsu showdown we agreed on? This is not a ninja. How can this little psycho use ninjutsu? Isn't she from the Hyuga clan? Arrogance creates prejudice, and stubbornness creates fixed mindsets. In everyone's opinion, people from the Hyuga clan should use Ro Fist. What the hell is using ninjutsu? This is really shocking. Then, they remembered that in the class test a few days ago, Hinata Hikaru also used the attribute escape technique unbearably. Who said that ninjas from the Hyuga clan have to use taijutsu? That is. Troy, who rushed towards Hinata Hikari, was shocked for a moment, and then a smile appeared on his lips. Ninjutsu is really special, but it would be a dream to defeat me with ninjutsu. Facing the incoming high-speed water ball the size of a water tank, Troy stretched out his arms, crossed them, and protected his face. Obviously, he wanted to fight hard. After the water ball the size of a water tank hit Troy, Troy's body froze for a moment, as if he suddenly encountered resistance. Troy let out a low roar, pushed through the water ball, and accelerated again. The broken water polo also collapsed and scattered on the ground. You can actually physically resist sea-level ninjutsu. Be Bakana. The primary school students in Konoha suddenly widened their eyes and couldn't believe it at all. Is it true that there is such a thing as physically resisting and proving the Tao with force? Although Jiraiya and others were not shocked, their expressions were equally ugly. They had carried out countless missions, and of course they had fought against the ninjas of Hidden Cloud Village. The strong physique and fighting power of the ninjas of Cloud Hidden Village left a deep impression on people. Especially the Sandaime Raikage, who is said to be able to physically harden the Eight Tails. Known as the strongest spear and the strongest humanoid on the ground. Because of his glorious deeds, the ninjas of Union Village set off a training frenzy. There is no doubt that Troy in front of him was one of them who was poisoned. Today, you can also become a muscle brother. This advertising slogan was replayed in everyone's mind. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 110. Among the entire audience, there was one person with a different look in his eyes. Danzo Shimura narrowed his eyes, thinking something about it. During this time, he asked his men to collect information. It was discovered that there was no information on how Hikari learned water release. So the question is, where did she learn it? After the water ball was smashed, Hinata Hikaru took his time and fired another iron gun jade. This time, the iron gun jade has a larger range and stronger attack power. Although Tai Pao Yu is only a sea-level water escaper, he has unlimited growth potential. In the original work, the iron gun jade spit out by Gamabunta can even compete with Ichibai Shikaku's wind release training blank bullet. As long as there is enough chakra, Teppanyama can become big enough. So-called big is good, more is beautiful, my iron cannon jade god sect is so magnificent. Water escape iron gun jade. The iron cannon jade hit Troy, and Troy's body exploded into a ball of white mist. And in the white mist, there was a piece of broken wood pile rolling down. A hem substitute technique. Hinata Hikaru was suddenly interested, and then he opened the blood succession limit Byakugan. Strips of blue veins spread around the eye sockets, which is written as white eyes, and pronounced as BIA, which means liver. In Byakugan's field of vision, all the surrounding scenery can be seen. This leader is very curious. How many substitute trees can you bring with you when you come all the way from Union Village? Hinata looked around. She was not afraid of the other party using the substitution technique. Because the prerequisite for using the substitute technique is to carve the wood with the charm in advance. Is it possible that Troy can still carry a big pile of wood to Konoha? The next moment, Troy's figure reappeared, and it was Hinata Hikari behind him. But this is ineffective against the Hyuga clan who can use the Byakugan. Because it can be seen even from behind. Troy punched out, the wind of the fist whistling. If this punch had hit, no one would deny that Hinata Hikari would end up in a very miserable end. However, Hinata Hikari, who turned around, did not confront Troy head-on at all, but retreated quickly. Even Troy was shocked by this lack of hesitation. He fully expected that Hinata Hikari would resist or use soft fists to counterattack. In that case, you will play into your own hands. After pulling away, she saw Hinata forming seals with her hands again, and a water ball the size of a water tank spat out of her mouth again. Why doesn't this little psycho follow the routine? The crowd in Union Village exploded. Quack. Facing the commotion of others, Hinata seemed unaware. She just watched with interest as Troy continued to resist Tai Pao Yu. On the Konoha side, everyone was also in a daze. Some of them couldn't understand the reason behind Hikari's use of water escape ninjutsu. Teppanyama is a sea-level ninjutsu. Since it is a sea-level ninjutsu, it must be more expensive than her use of soft fist. If you continue to use this method and fail to impress the opponent, isn't this pushing yourself towards failure? This is just their logic. Hinata's logic is not like this. Roar. After letting out a low growl mixed with pain, Troy smashed through the iron gun jade. But immediately, another iron cannon jade suddenly struck. Hinata seems to be addicted to using it. This sea-level iron gun jade not only attacks quickly, but also consumes at least 10 times less chakra than the powerful fireball technique. The premise is to keep the iron gun jade within the size of the water tank. If a piece of iron gun jade as big as a house is sprayed out all at once, the mana consumption will definitely increase. But in terms of speed, it cannot be compared to the extremely shameful fireball technique, which has never killed anyone. The firing speed of the iron cannon jade, under the adjustment and control of the Hyuga light, can even achieve a flying speed that is not inferior to the flight speed of ninja tools such as Konoha. Another shot of Teppanyama, Troy once again resisted Hinata Hikari's ninjutsu. Hikari. After resisting Tai Pao Yu this time, Troy did not attack again, but stood there, his dark face turning red. Are you humiliating me? Humiliate him. The onlookers calmed down. I saw that Troy's iconic Kyomagakure ninja uniform, gray shirt, and white coat were all soaked with water. The whole person is like a drowned rat. This word appeared in everyone's mind. And he was still a drowned rat with saliva sprayed all over him. A soldier can be killed but not humiliated. Troy was furious. How could his opponent humiliate him like this? Quack. But he heard Hinata chuckle strangely, with a nonchalant look on his face. This leader is just a normal competition. Could it be that you let me compare muscles with you and have such logic? You can slap your hat on me. I feel so wronged. As Hinata Hikaru said, she pretended to be cooing. I'll kill this Ying Yang Guan with one punch. Troy was very angry, and his thoughts were beautiful, but he was just helpless and furious. Let alone beating Hinata to death, he couldn't even touch the corners of Hinata's clothes. Gaga, besides, Union Village took the initiative to stir up trouble. You are not a good person in the first place. A group of bad guys actually have the nerve to ask the victims to treat you like saints. I ask you this. Hinata pointed at Troy. How to repay kindness with kindness. Hinata Hikari's fierce and rapid torture left Troy and other people in Union Village stunned on the spot. Although Troy is full of muscles, that doesn't mean he has no brains. What's more, I usually like to read philosophy books, so. Me. He was stunned for a long time, and his dark cheeks turned red. In front of everyone, Hinata Hikaru's question left him unable to defend himself. Even if Hinata Hikaru is humiliating him, what can he do? Okay, you can go down. Hinata said calmly. Then, the air began to shake, and a layer of red flames jumped from the palm of his hand. Killing intent fluctuation. The scarlet chakra expands, grows, and accumulates in a state visible to the naked eye. That is. Everyone looked at the scene in amazement. It's Hinata Hikaru's bloodline limit. Someone recognized it and exclaimed. Everyone in Union Village was even more surprised. Isn't that a roll of the eyes? Does this Hyuga Hikaru have a second blood inheritance limit? In everyone's surprised eyes, Hinata moved. Carrying the wave of killing intent, Hinata rushed towards Troy. One move to get rid of him. Although Troy was surprised, he was still prepared to deal with it. Thunderplow. Troy raised his right arm, placed it at his side, and bent it at an angle. His fists were clenched even more tightly. That posture. Is it? The knowledgeable Konoha ninja immediately shouted. Hot knife. The Thunderplow hot sword is a taijutsu used by everyone in Cloud Hidden Village. It is basically as versatile as Konoha fluid technique. Children in Hidden Cloud Village are trained to use this move at a very young age. The purpose is to be able to form a powerful combination in the ninja world with the next generation of Raikage in the future. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 111. At present, I am afraid that whether 3.5-year-old Kirabi takes off her crotchless pants is a problem. The son of the Sandaime Raikage, the future 4th Raikage, has yet to have an combination with him. So, the group of primary school students sent by Union Village this time may be eligible to compete for positions in the future. Oh yeah. Hinata's eyes widened a little, and she suddenly felt interesting. She had some thoughts in her heart and made a surprising decision. Killing intent fluctuation. Hinata's white arms were bent and her little fists were clenched. Thunderplow hot knife. Hinata directly copied the opponent's movements completely. Although Byakugan does not have the ability to copy, his ability to see through is outstanding. From the angle of your arm's flexion, to the degree of contraction of your internal muscles. Hinata Hikaru, who is extremely talented in physical arts, immediately showed his talent and followed suit. Nani? This little psycho in Konoha is actually. Everyone in Union Village was shocked at first. What is surprising is that Hinata Hikaru actually copied this taijutsu completely. Then, they became calm again. Although the Thunderplow hot knife is not an advanced ninjutsu, even a child of several years old can imitate it. But different people use it, and the power is very different. Ninja students, Genin, Shuyunin all the way to Kage, and even the 8 Tails Jinhyuriki. The attack power of the Thunderplow hot knife is completely different. According to the level of lethality, it can soar from E level to S level. Moreover, Thunderplow hot knife is just a simple basic move, and different attributes can be added according to individual differences. Generally speaking, Kyomagakure ninjas, including Raikage, will add Thunder Escape. The 8-tailed Jinhyuriki can even use the 8-tailed beast clothes to wrap himself up while borrowing the 8-tailed chakra, and perform the sprint of the Thunderplow hot knife. Humph, you lost your mind and actually competed with Troy. Maybe this is a mental patient. Everyone in Union Village felt relieved, and they even wanted to laugh when they saw Hinata preparing to use the same moves to compete with Troy. The Konoha side also felt bad. Is Hinata Hikaru crazy? She's so little, she actually thinks she can go head-to-head with the muscular boy from Hidden Cloud Village. Even if there is a special blood inheritance limit, is she so confident in herself? A terrible muffled sound. In full public view, the two collided. Troy, who originally thought he would win, looked surprised. He barely had time to say a single word before his whole body began to tremble violently. That white arm. Arms that look weak. It actually made him feel as if he had collided with a towering mountain. No, it's not possible. Troy gritted his teeth and sweat began to form on his forehead. Because of working hard. At this moment, his face was flushed and he couldn't even find the strength to speak. For Troy, Hikaru Hinata, with her small arms and legs, could never be his opponent. So why? The flickering wave of murderous intent reminded Troy. Yes, it must be this weird blood inheritance limit. What exactly is this power? In a brief moment, Troy was shaking like chaff. However, even if he used all his strength, he still could not resist the power of the murderous intention. Everyone saw in disbelief that Troy suddenly jumped into the air and rolled backwards. Hinata, who had paused for a while, continued to move forward a few meters due to inertia and its own force. Troy fell heavily to the ground. The whole place was silent. Seeing this scene in front of him, even the third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen was so shocked that he could hardly think. Not to mention the dumbfounded Jiraiya and the others, as well as everyone in the hidden cloud village. Their jaws even dropped to the ground. A pretty girl. Actually, in physical skills, the car overturned the tall Troy. How can this be? But after everyone reacted, some even rubbed their eyes to make sure they were dazzled. However, the truth of the matter is, even Troy himself, who was lying on the ground, looked completely in disbelief. The power he faced just now was so exaggerated and violent. Completely subverted his cognition. Everyone looked at this incredible scene and were speechless for a long time. The strange silence spread until bursts of cheers erupted from Konoha. The leader of the Hinata light sect has lived for thousands of years, but only a bucket of paste. Some elementary school students raised their fists and started shouting. At a glance, he knew that he was Hinata Hikaru's classmate, a student in class 2. No way, this fact is too shocking. The blood inheritance limit, the blood inheritance limit. I didn't expect it to be so strong. The ninja teachers spoke out one after another, their faces filled with surprise. They were extremely professional and could analyze the reasons for Hinata's victory in an instant. That strange blood inheritance limit increased her ability. At present, at least the increase shown in the above is extremely exaggerated and terrifying. As expected of Hinata Hikaru-san. Probably the only one in the audience who wasn't surprised was Minato Namikaze. He was smiling, as warmly as ever. From start to finish. Only Namikaze Minato believed that Hinata could defeat Troy. And because of this incident, it will inevitably spread throughout Konoha in the future and become a topic of conversation among people. As Namikaze Minato said before, the opportunity to perform should be left to Hinata Hikaru. Hinata Hikari is destined to be the protagonist today. Her light is so dazzling that it overwhelms everyone before her. Even the performance of Sarutobi Ryo and Hinata Xiao. In front of the sun, everything is dim and lightless. Because this scene is really amazing. Incredible. Hinata Xiao looked surprised. Although he thought that Hikaru Hinata would defeat Troy. But I didn't expect to be defeated in this way. Xiang Xiao realized that he had not guessed the upper limit of Hyuga Hikaru correctly. Every time, Hinata refreshes his knowledge. This kind of strong and unreasonable strength is really unprecedented. More importantly, Konoha's side cheered almost overwhelmingly. Everyone looked excited by Hinata's actions. What Hyuga Hikari did was not just defeat foreign enemies. What's more important is to change their previous perceptions. At this moment, the sunlight was so dazzling. All her companions cheered for her. Not a single offensive word was heard. Suddenly, Xiang Xiao remembered what Hinata Hikaru said when he was accused by thousands of people and was extremely depressed. Thanks to Book Friends 2000 for rewarding. Thanks to Book Friends 500 for rewarding. Thanks to Book Friends, 100 reward. Thank you for your recommendation votes and monthly votes. Thank you for your support. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 112. Now, everyone's attitude towards Hinata is completely different from before. And Hinata Hikari had anticipated this and said those words to him. Xiang Xiao's thinking about human nature seems to have taken another step forward. He didn't cheer like others. Because Xiang Xiao knows that this is not what Rixiang Guang needs. Because if she wanted to, she could get everyone's attention with her talent very early on. In the field, Hinata slowly put away his right arm, turned around and looked at Troy, who fell to the ground. After some complicated mental activities, Troy slowly stood up. I surrender. The moment he was overturned by Hinata Hikaru, who was much smaller than him, Troy no longer had the face to continue fighting. At the same time, what is lost is self-confidence. He even had doubts about his own strength. Hinata's pride formed a sharp contrast with Troy's lonely figure. At this moment, no one dared to underestimate Hinata Hikari. Hinata Hikari, facing everyone in Union Village, had her little hands behind her back, and her cute little face had a nervous look. Is there anyone else who wants to challenge this leader? Arrogant, extremely arrogant. Everyone in Union Village was silent at first. Then, an outpouring of fierce criticism erupted. He. The second Akumi smiled. Not only was she not angry about Hinata's defeat of Troy, but she was very excited. That's right, that's the only way. Only then can he be qualified to be her opponent. It is indeed commendable to defeat Troy, but are you too arrogant? Hinata Hikaru. The two Akumi spoke out what everyone was feeling. As soon as she spoke, the scene suddenly became quiet. Everyone in Union Village, at this moment, was actually led by the two Akumi. Because at this moment, the two Akumi have become the hope of the whole village. Only as a Jinhuriki can she continue to fight and save the face of Kyomagakure village. Quack, scumbag. Hinata looked up at the sky and rolled her eyes. Apparently, he holds a grudge. So as soon as he opens his mouth, he is a scumbag. You. The second Akumi was very angry, and the corner of his mouth twitched. Hey. But he saw Hinata laughing out loud and waving his hands. You two are so beautiful. No, don't misunderstand me. This leader is not targeting you. I am talking about everyone here. Hinata's crystal clear eyes looked around at everyone in Union Village. It's all about fun. Hiss. Everyone in Konoha was heard taking a deep breath. This Hyuga Hikaru is so NB. He actually mocked the whole audience by himself. Tell me, I'm dreaming. Some students couldn't believe it. Of course he was not dreaming. The excitement of the people in Union Village and the denunciation of Hinata Hikaru explained everything. They couldn't wait to go on stage and directly beat up Hinata Hikaru. Even if you have enough intention but not enough strength. Probably in their entire lives, they have never had such arrogant peers. Facing the public anger, Hinata just waved his hand nervously. After looking around at everyone in Union Village again, Hinata said loudly. Gaga, this leader is very busy and has to rush for lunch, so scumbags, all of you should come together. Arrogance is really extremely arrogant. Even Sarutobi Hiruzen had a big mouth. Although he had heard about Hikari's deeds countless times from the small reports of Mr. Wuke and others. But Hinata's level of confidence was beyond his expectations. Hikaru Hinata, does she want to go to heaven? Everyone in Konoha watched blankly as the excited elementary school students of Kyomagakure village rushed towards Hinata Hikaru. Then. The problem is coming. What can I do? The primary school students of Kyomagakure village rushed towards Hinata Hikaru. Naturally, this was not the order of the ninja leader of Kyomagakure village. He is even stopping the naughty kids in his own village. But the problem is, because of Hinata Hikari's ridicule, the situation is no longer under control. Hikaru Hinata-san managed to paralyze the enemy's command system by one person. It's really impressive. Namikaze Minato smiled. Ri Xiangxiao turned her head and looked at him. He felt that Namikaze Minato seemed a bit stupid. Occasionally there will be some words that make people want to complain crazily. This is not a question of whether the command system is paralyzed or not, okay. Ugh. Forget it. Ri Xiangxiao told himself that he was Rick Xiangxiao, not Hinata Zinbeiji. For a moment, there was chaos in the field. Originally, Hinata could remain intact under the protection of the barrier. But she actually took the initiative to walk out of the 5-sealed barrier and went to fight with the primary school students in Union Village. This. Xiao Chun looked confused when he went to bed. In her entire life, She has never seen such a chaotic scene. Elder Mito Minion frowned. Even Danzo Shimura's face was as dark as the bottom of a pot. Hoo. Facing this chaotic scene, Hiruzen Sarutobi, who was smiling, smoked his pipe leisurely. It's a good thing to have energy because she's still just a child. Danzo Shimura. The open-minded Hokage was not at all offended by this chaotic scene. Just like in the original work, Uzumaki Naruto played pranks everywhere, but Hiruzen Sarutobi never punished him. In the heart of the third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, there is no problem if a child is a bit skinny or a bear is not. When the children grow up, they will lose their skin. It seems that if you want to accept this child as your disciple, you will have to be prepared to be busy in the future. Orochimaru's iconic husky voice sounded, which was extremely annoying here. Hikaru Hinata is very capable of causing trouble. Jiraiya touched his chin and imagined what would happen if he became her nanny. No, it would be the scene after the master. I probably have to be hunted down by others every day. Oh ho ho ha ha ha. Tsunade pinched her waist and laughed heartily. She actually didn't think it was a problem. Also, Jiraiya and Orochimaru looked at each other, and they remembered that Tsunade was also so naughty and arrogant when she was a child. Almost most of the Konoha ninjas have been poisoned by her. This is where Tsunade's name comes from. In the field, Hinata Hikaru was one to many, and elementary school students from Kyomagakure village kept rushing towards her. This scene is very similar to the zombies in a certain Resident Evil movie that keep rushing towards the protagonist. Well done, Konoha Tornado. The tide of the crowd inspired Hinata's fighting spirit. She laughed strangely, and her right leg suddenly made an arc in the air, causing the wall of people to fall over. Wind escape and cut through the sky waves. Some students formed a seal with their hands and used the Zhonkong wave. This D-level ninjutsu can blow your opponent away with one strike. If used by a powerful ninja, it can even tear rocks apart. Although most of the ninjas in Cloud Hidden Village use thunder escape, there are many people who can use other attribute escape techniques. This is not surprising. Facing the strong wind, Hinata formed a seal. The skill of fire escape is small. The pink little mouth opened, and a flame flew out of it.